Daily Words of God. A life spent seeking fame and fortune will leave one at a loss in the face of death. Because of the Creator's sovereignty and predestination, a lonely soul that started out with nothing to its name gains parents and a family, the chance to become a member of the human race, the chance to experience human life and see the world. And it also gains the chance to experience the Creator's sovereignty, to know the marvelousness of the creation by the Creator, and most of all, to know and become subject to the Creator's authority. But most people do not really seize this rare and fleeting opportunity. One exhausts a lifetime's worth of energy fighting against fate, spends all of one's time bustling about, trying to feed one's family, and shuttling back and forth between wealth and status. The things that people treasure are family, money, and fame. They view these as the most valuable things in life. All people complain about their fates, yet still they push to the back of their minds the questions that it is most imperative to examine and understand. Why man is alive, how man should live, what the value and meaning of life is. All of their lives, however many years that may be, they just rush about seeking fame and fortune until their youth has fled, until they become gray and wrinkled, until they see that fame and fortune cannot stop one's slide towards senility, that money cannot fill the emptiness of the heart, until they understand that no one is exempt from the law of birth, aging, sickness, and death, that no one can escape what fate has in store. Only when they are forced to confront life's final juncture do they truly grasp that even if one owns millions in property, even if one is privileged and of high rank, no one can escape death. Every person will return to his or her original position. A solitary soul with nothing to its name. When one has parents, one believes that one's parents are everything. When one has property, one thinks that money is one's mainstay, that it is one's asset in life. When people have status, they cling tightly to it and would risk their lives for its sake. Only when people are about to let go of this world do they realize that the things they spent their lives pursuing are nothing but fleeting clouds, none of which they can hold on to, none of which they can take with them, none of which can exempt them from death, none of which can provide company or consolation to a lonely soul on its way back, and least of all, none of which can give a person salvation, allow them to transcend death. Fame and fortune one gains in the material world give one temporary satisfaction, passing pleasure, a false sense of ease, and make one lose one's way. And so people, as they thrash about in the vast sea of humanity, craving peace, comfort, and tranquility of heart, are subsumed again and again beneath the waves. When people have yet to figure out the questions that it is most crucial to understand, where they come from, why they are alive, where they are going, and so forth, they are seduced by fame and fortune, misled, controlled by them, irrevocably lost. Time flies. Years pass in an eye blink. Before one realizes it, one has bid farewell to the best years of one's life. When one is soon to depart from the world, one arrives at the gradual realization that everything in the world is drifting away, that one can no longer hold on to the things one possessed. Then one truly feels that one still owns nothing at all, like a wailing infant that has just emerged into the world. At this point, one is compelled to ponder what one has done in life, what being alive is worth, what it means, why one came into the world. And at this point, one increasingly wants to know whether there really is an afterlife, whether heaven really exists, whether there really is retribution. The nearer one comes to death, the more one wants to understand what life is really about. The nearer one comes to death, the more one's heart seems empty. The nearer one comes to death, the more helpless one feels, and so one's fear of death grows greater by the day. There are two reasons why people behave this way as they approach death. First, they are about to lose the fame and wealth upon which their lives have depended, are about to leave behind everything visible in the world. And second, they are about to confront, all alone, an unfamiliar world, a mysterious, unknown realm where they are afraid to set foot, where they have no loved ones and no means of support. For these two reasons, everyone who faces death feels uneasy, experiences a panic and a sense of helplessness that they have never known before. Only when people actually reach this point do they realize that the first thing one must understand when one sets foot on this earth is where human beings come from, why people are alive, who dictates human fate, who provides for and has sovereignty over human existence. These are the true assets in life, the essential basis for human survival. Not learning how to provide for one's family or how to achieve fame and wealth, not learning how to stand out from the crowd or how to live a more affluent life, much less learning how to excel and to compete successfully against others. Though the various survival skills that people spend their lives mastering can offer an abundance of material comforts, they never bring one's heart true peace and consolation, but instead make people constantly lose their direction, have difficulty controlling themselves, miss every opportunity to learn the meaning of life, and they create an undercurrent of trouble about how to properly face death. In this way, people's lives are ruined. The Creator treats everyone fairly, giving everyone a lifetime's worth of opportunities to experience and know His sovereignty. Yet it is only when death draws near, when the specter of death hangs over one, that one begins to see the light, and then it is too late. People spend their lives chasing after money and fame. They clutch at these straws, thinking they are their only means of support, as if by having them they could keep on living, could exempt themselves from death. But only when they are close to dying do they realize how distant these things are from them, how weak they are in the face of death, how easily they shatter, how lonely and helpless they are with nowhere to turn. They realize that life cannot be bought with money or fame, that no matter how wealthy a person is, no matter how lofty his or her position is, all people are equally poor and inconsequential in the face of death. They realize that money cannot buy life, that fame cannot erase death, that neither money nor fame can lengthen a person's life by a single minute, a single second, The more people feel this way, the more they yearn to keep on living. The more people feel this way, the more they dread the approach of death. Only at this point do they truly realize that their lives do not belong to them, are not theirs to control, and that one has no say over whether one lives or dies, that all of this lies outside of one's control.